ranking the teams most likely to win the Super Bowl as we end this wild card round. Chris Jones, our producer, who's the first team?
We are looking at, we're going to go by lowest seed to highest seed. So we're starting in the AFC with the 6th seeded Bills 12-5 team.
Well, the Bills, I mean, Josh Allen is good at football.
He's really good at football.
Quarterback play matters a lot in the playoffs. Their defense has been really shaky this year, though, right? Like I haven't watched a lot of Bills games, but that's my understanding is that their defense has not been the Bills' defense of old.
They can't stop the run. That is their biggest issue. Teams gash them on the ground. But basically, the way the Bills have gone all season is fall behind in the first half, crush in the second half, come back and win a lot. They scored, I think, the most points in the second half this year. But I think they might have been outscored in the first half. But they had the best point differential in the second half by a lot, and that's how good they were. They started their opening game was against the Ravens, where they were getting destroyed and came back with a miracle win, and then sort of did that many more times throughout the season. Because Josh Allen is a force of nature, basically. It's weird. They're the lowest seed. I wonder if they have the best chance in the AFC, though, to win the Super Bowl anyway.
Well, we were discussing before we started that this is the most parity we've ever seen in the last 10 years, at least, heading into the playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great, the Seahawks are the Super Bowl favorites. Then it's a very weak Super Bowl favorite. So, yeah, having, a Josh Allen-type player must be important. Who's the other guy besides Mozart? What was his name? Salieri?
Yeah.
Is that it? Yeah, so it's been like Josh Allen's like Salieri, and Patrick Mahomes has been his Mozart. He's been like, it's fucking Patrick Mahomes again. God damn it. But somebody pushed that blind guy into the river, and now Salieri's got all of Vienna to himself. Is that where they lived? Was Mozart blind?
No, he was deaf.
Okay. Oh,
he was deaf. No, that was Beethoven. Beethoven was deaf. Mozart was fine. Thing. Mozart was a normal dude.
Well, somebody pushed that fucking arrogant prick into the river, and now Salieri's got the whole town to himself.
I just remembered who's blind. I remember who's blind. It's Daredevil. It's Daredevil.
Oh, okay,
that's who
you're
thinking of.
And he's also very good at piano, but that's unrelated to what we're talking about.
I would hope so.
So just imagine Europe without Mozart from Salieri's perspective. That's what Josh Allen is feeling right now. So I think it's the world is his oyster now. I like it. I think the Bills have a good shot.
I do too. We're going to go through all these teams, but looking at who else is left in the AFC, there's no obvious, this team is way better than the Bills, I don't think. They're going to Denver to play Denver. We're going to rank them relatively soon, I guess near the end of the show. I don't know for sure. Is Denver better than the Bills? Denver has a second-year quarterback. They've had a lot of last-minute comebacks, which is sort of good, but also not great. What you're really looking for in a number one seed is a team that, stomps people to death, and Denver certainly does not do that.
Jones, what's Denver's point differential? Let's go.
Ooh, that's a tough question.
This is I was gonna actually bring this up. Let's actually turn to the Broncos. I'm gonna pull an audible, and let's turn to the Broncos next. And after you talk about the Broncos, I'm gonna tell you the line, current line in that Bills Broncos game that's coming up.
Ooh, it's like a secret. He won't tell us. I love it.
Jonathan basically just said everything about the Broncos that I would have said. They have an inexperienced quarterback who seems like he's pretty good, but he's not Salieri. He's no Josh Allen.
Right.
They have a good defense, they're. I'm guessing their point differential is not amazing based on the margins of victory that they've had, and they're kind of a paper tiger.
I think they are. I think that's true for a lot of these teams this year. The Bears are similar. The Bears have been pulling out stuff left and right. Now they did it against the Packers in the biggest stage so far in the playoffs this weekend. So maybe there's something there. Maybe this goose can run, but. Is that what you would say?
Yeah, the goose can run, baby. That goose can shit all over the field.
It's hard to believe in teams that need to come back at the very end. Now, the Bills themselves have been doing lots of coming back at the very end, but it's with a guy who is, as I was saying, a force of nature, who's been doing this for 9 years, basically, or 7 years, or some amount of time, where, he was the MVP last year. I don't think he should have been the MVP, but I certainly think he should have been second, and I think he is the best player remaining in the playoffs. And maybe he was just the best player in the league anyway, even though he's not going to win the MVP this year. I think he may just be the best player. It's hard to bet against that guy. Let's play guess the line before Chris tells us. So I'm going to guess Denver has to be favored. They're playing in
Yeah.
Denver. They're the number 1 seed. It can't be huge, though. Could it be more than 3? 3.5 would be the most it could be, I would think.
I'm going 2.5. I think it's Denver minus
Wow.
2.5.
That means basically they're even on a neutral field, which is not crazy.
Yeah.
But Denver was the number 1 seed. I'll take 3.5. All right, what is it, Chris?
I was shocked when I looked this up. That's why I held it back.
More?
The Bills are favored by 1.5.
Holy moly! Now, in fairness, the Bills being favored by 1.5 or Denver being favored by 2.5 is not that different. That's 3 is the key number there. So it's basically a coin flip either way. So Grant is not only were you closer, but that's basically calling it, even though it sounds like wow. The Bills are favored. Well, there you go. I guess the world agrees with us.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
in the King of the Hill format here, I think we both have the Bills over the Broncos right now as the two teams that we've discussed.
I think so. That's messed up. I may end up going with the Bills the whole way. It's so close. This is so hard this year.
But they're going to talk about the Patriots. The Joneses are going to talk about the
I'm
Patriots.
excited.
How are you going to
I'm
not
excited
put the
to talk-
Patriots
I'm excited
over
to talk about the
everybody?
Patriots.
You love them
It's
so
gonna
much.
It's going to be fun to talk about the Patriots.
All right, do you want to keep going down the AFC line or go into the NFC?
Let's
You're
keep
the
on- let's
producer,
stay in the-
man.
All right.
Stay in the conference, producer.
All right,
You
we'll
should
stay
know
in the
that.
conference. We still have a wild card. We're recording this on Monday, so we still have a wild card matchup to go. So there are 5 teams left in the AFC rather than 4 in the NFC.
It's going to be hard to rank anybody who's still yet to play above.
It'll be
teams.
fine.
Yeah,
It'll be fine.
All right.
So we've got the 5th seeded Texans who still have a wild card matchup tonight, 12-5 on the season.
I mean, the Texans are another one of these teams that is sneaky. Like, they've got maybe the best defense in the league. C.J. Stroud is not a killer, but he's really good. He's certainly good enough to win a Super Bowl right now. He doesn't really have skill position players that are killing it. Nico Collins is, pretty good. But is it enough? It might be enough this year. It's a big glob in the middle right now, and they're part of it. It wouldn't be shocking if they come out of the AFC. But it also wouldn't be shocking if they lose right away and don't really make it close. Right.
They could lose by a lot.
I mean, probably not to Pittsburgh. They're favored to play in Pittsburgh tonight by 3 points. But they could. I mean, they're not a great team. And C.J. Stroud has not taken that big step forward that everyone kept thinking he was going to take.
He took a step back. He took a step back. Last year, he had an amazing year last year. Can you imagine if it was last year's Texans offense before Nico Collins got hurt? He was the best receiver in the league before he got hurt in 2024. And that offense was insane, and C.J. Stroud was amazing. If you put that offense with this year's defense, then they're Super Bowl favorites. But that's not what we have. Their offense is a shell of itself.
I feel like C.J. Stroud wasn't even that good last year. I feel like he was good 2 years ago. I can't remember anymore. It all runs together.
Time
he had an
is
incredible
a flat circle,
rookie year,
as they say. So
yes.
No, I think he had a great second year too. But
okay,
maybe I'm miss.
I think
I also
you're
don't know.
Wrong. I think Nico Collins had a good second year. I don't know if C.J. Stroud did, but
Either way,
he's a good quarterback, and his numbers are actually surprisingly good. He's got something like, and I'm not looking at it right now, but I was going off my memory, but something like 24 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, pretty good yards per attempt, like 7.5 yards per attempt, something like that. It's perfectly good. You can absolutely win with that. That's a top 10 quarterback in the league kind of a thing, and he's like 24 years old. Like he's a nice guy to be building around, and he's got a lot of experience. The Texans are really good, but I don't think they're as good as the Bills. Like, I would take the Bills over them for sure.
I don't think they're as good as the Broncos either. I would take the Broncos over.
Right now, they're 3rd of 3 in the AFC, at least, and 3rd of 3.
Yeah,
but again, if they won, it wouldn't shock me. They could win the whole thing, and I'd be like, wow, what a year.
Well, we're going to say that about every team because of the
not
level
every
of parity
team
this year.
There's at least one team we're not going to say that about.
We're going to say that about the fucking Bears? Fucking asshole. We'll figure it out.
There's actually, now that you say that, there's 2 teams I'm not going to say that about. All right.
Well, how about their opponent, the 10-7 Steelers?
Ding, ding.
I think Aaron Rodgers is more likely to die on the field than win the Super Bowl. That's what I think.
I mean, can we bet on that? Is there a place to bet? Kalshi?
Kalshi has that. Yeah, that's the number 2 thing on Kalshi right now. Yeah.
They played an unbelievable game to make the playoffs against the Ravens. I think it was literally the best fourth quarter of regular season I've ever seen in my life. But to do that, they had to lose the week before to the Cleveland Browns. Otherwise, they wouldn't even that game would have meant nothing. They couldn't even beat the Browns, dude. The Browns, who are horrible, were starting Shadur Sanders. This team is not for real. This team is the worst team in the field at this point. Like, Carolina was the worst, but Pittsburgh is now the worst now that Carolina's out. And I don't think it's close. Like,
if Aaron
boy,
Rodgers
do I want.
Sorry, continue, please.
Oh, I was going to say, boy, do I want Pittsburgh to somehow beat Houston tonight, because then the Patriots get to host Pittsburgh. And, oh, my God, that is the best matchup we could ask for, like, as a Patriots fan.
Well, if Aaron Rodgers could go back in time by a decade, maybe they'd have a chance. And he's had some good performances. He's still good, but he's not the same guy that he was. He's going to need to do a lot more peyote and a lot more caves if he wants to get to the Super Bowl, I think.
I mean, Pittsburgh is just the kind of team that is built to go 10-7 every year. And in fact, that's basically what they've done for the last 15 years. They've won one playoff game like in the last 12 years or something like that. Mike Tomlin is sneaky on like a slightly warming up seat, you know, like when you put your seat heater on in your car, but it's just a one red dot, not three red dots. I don't know. Do we all have the same setup for seat heaters?
I have the same setup, but why we gotta like let everybody know how fancy our cars are with our seats?
Is that fancy anymore? I don't know if that's
so
that's fancy anymore.
If
you live in a cold anyway, let's not. If you live in a cold climate, though, that's pretty standard? All right, I don't know. I'm sorry. Yes, I drive a car with seat warmers. It's true, but one dot only for Mike Tomlin. But still, it's a dot. Pittsburgh is just not good enough to do anything serious in the playoffs. If they make the AFC Championship game, it'll be a shocker, let alone win this, let alone go past there. They're the worst team left in the field.
Yeah, they're going to be at the bottom by the end of this thing, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
My seat warmer only has 2 dots. Just
he's got the bad car.
How elitist you are over there.
I mean, he's gonna eat the rich us.
Yeah. What do you do when it's like you want it to be not just warm, but not really hot? What do you do?
Mean,
do you just
I shake my fist at all the people who have 3 dots.
This is why the American Red Cross exists, to help people like Chris through these types of times. When he's like, my ass is not medium. It's too hot or too cold. I need medium ass.
The Christian Children's Fund.
All right, let's finish up the AFC with the second-seeded Patriots, 14-3 on the season.
Yeah, I guess they're good. Whatever. Like, they're fine. I don't care.
They're pretty good.
Seems like Vrabel's a good coach. Seems like
Yes.
May is a good quarterback. I don't know. I put the Bills over them still.
I do too. I will say this. Drake May is the most talented quarterback in the history of the New England Patriots. Like, no question.
Of course.
Yeah. Really. I'm not kidding. Like, I actually mean that.
He's more talented than Tom Brady.
Yes. Okay. I'm not saying he's better than Tom Brady, but he's absolutely more talented than Tom Brady, without question. He makes throws on the regular that I've never seen anyone make. His sense of anticipation, his deep ball is flawless. The guy is unbelievable, and he's only 23. He's going to get better. He's improving at a really rapid rate. I don't know that means they're going to win any more games this year. They won yesterday against the weakened Chargers team, and Justin Herbert, who I guess is just, I don't know what happens to Justin Herbert in the playoffs, but this is 0-3 now. The first game was one of the greatest comebacks of all time when they were killing the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence led them all the way back. The last game, he threw, I believe, 5 interceptions last year. And then this game where he threw for 152 yards and they scored 3 points. This is not good. Like, the Patriots defense is good, but like, come on, man, this is crazy. I don't know what's going on over there. So it's a nice win for the Patriots. It's a big win for them, but I don't know that it's a big statement win. Like, oh, well, these guys are like going to win the title this year. I don't think it means that at all. I don't think they're as good as the Bills. I'm not sure about the Broncos. I think it's close. I think those are 2 teams that are like a little bit paper tigers for their seeding, Like, they're both supposed to be like the 6th seed, and somehow they're the 1 and the 2. They're supposed to have won 10 or 11 games. Somehow they won 14 each.
I think I know what just happened. I just want to give my insights into what just happened with what Jonathan just did, where he was talking about how Drake May was more talented than Tom Brady. He was thinking, man, everybody loves Stephen A. Smith. Well, they don't love him, but they really click on his shit, don't they? Because he says shit that's controversial. Let's give Jones something to clip out that's really going to get the clicks. Let's click it up over here. I'm going to say some shit that everybody's going to be like, what the fuck did that guy just say? That's exactly what just happened. You thought about this before the show, and then you brought it out on the show, and I respect it and I appreciate it because my views are tied to your views.
I did think about it before the show. I was aware that it might be a little controversial, but I got to tell you, I don't think it's even a controversial statement if you actually look at it. Tom Brady in his second year which is Drake May's second year. By the way, Tom Brady was older than Drake May in his second year. Tom Brady started every game for the New England Patriots, as Drake May did. Tom Brady had 23 touchdowns and like 14 interceptions, threw for like 3,600 yards. It was a different era, admittedly. It was 2003, but like it wasn't close. Like it just wasn't the same. Drake may win the MVP this year. He's certainly going to finish top 2. And it's not just that he's doing it on talent alone is what I'm telling you. Like Tom Brady got wiser and better and of course worked incredibly hard and of course was very, very talented. Drake May has more raw talent than Tom Brady. So do other guys. Like it isn't just Drake May. Like lots of guys had more raw talent than Tom Brady. Everything came together perfectly for Brady is what I'm saying.
All right, that's a good second option for Chris. Let's do a third one where you talk about it again and see if we can find an even better way to get more clicks.
Okay, no problem. Drake May.
Okay. I think we're in alignment here, unless you have the Broncos over the Patriots, which I don't. I have Bills, Patriots, Broncos as the top 3 as of now. Steelers at the very bottom.
I don't know what to do with the Broncos and the Patriots. If they play each other, it will be in Denver. It would be in the AFC Championship game. Denver would be favored. I'm going to put the Denver Broncos ahead of the Patriots. I think it's very close, but I think Denver's a little bit more of a complete team. So I put the Patriots third right now.
Cool.
I like that. I'm going to make a case that the thing that I want to throw in there is I think I like the Bills and the Patriots, but I like the Texans. I like the Texans over the Broncos. I think the Texans might be the second best team in the AFC. They might be better than the Patriots. I just think they're a dangerous team. I would not be surprised to see them kind of make a statement.
Defense wins championships. They've been saying it forever.
Yeah.
It's not true, but they've been saying it.
Yeah, it's just a thing to say, right? I mean, like, so does offense, right? You need both. You need one. You got to be really good at least one of them, and hopefully both. Yeah, like the Rams won, right? Anyway.
Well, let's keep that all in mind, but we're going to now shift gears into the NFC and try to actually pull this all together and cross-pollinate. But we're going to start with the 6th-seeded 49ers, 12-5 on the season, heading into Seattle this coming weekend.
They have the pedigree.
They have the important footnote. George Kittle tore his Achilles yesterday. He's out. So
for the career. He's out for the career.
Well,
if it's
he's
a
out
torn
at least
Achilles.
He's out maybe for the next season. Certainly not going to be here for the playoffs. That is a huge loss for them. He's by far their best receiver, unless you're going to count Christian McCaffrey, which even if you did, I would put George Kittle ahead of him.
And Kittle does a lot for the offense that's not receiving. I mean, I remember he's not as good as he once was, but back in the day when Kelsey was putting up way better numbers than Kittle, like 5 years ago, all of the like true NFL experts were like, "Oh, actually, Kittle. I'd rather have Kittle on my team because of everything else that he does. He does the best at the other tight end stuff. So he's super important to their offense."
Nice. Well, they're screwed then because losing him is maybe their second best offensive player, I would guess, behind Christian McCaffrey. Maybe third if you want to argue Brock Purdy. There's nobody else who you could make a case for unless there's someone on the offensive line. I don't see how they could go very far in this spot. They're going to play Seattle, I guess, because they're the 6th seed. If they had Kittle, I might like them to win that game. I just don't see how. Seattle's got an awesome defense, too. The only way they beat Seattle, I think, is if Darnold just throws up a stinker like he did last year, where he just gets all nervous and throws like 4 interceptions. That would do it. But it wouldn't be because the 49ers win the game, I don't think. I think it's just a bridge too far without Kittle.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, but we can pivot to the Seahawks a little bit here. And like you talked about how Justin Herbert disappears in the playoffs. I'm pretty sure Sam Darnold is the same guy. Like Sam Darnold has such a weird career. If you listened to or watched last week's episode where we were talking about TV shows, we ended up talking about Adam Sandler a little bit and his weird career where like he can just put out a banger whenever he wants, but he decides to do shitty movies all the time. Sam Darnold puts out a couple banger seasons for 2 different teams in a row. But I think he's still not that good. Like he's like I think in the playoffs he's gonna suck. He's got such a weird career. He was a failure of the 2nd overall pick for a long time.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden he was okay, and then the Vikings picked him up, and then he was really good. And then the playoffs came, and it's like, oh, this is the real Sam Darnold. Never mind. And now the Seahawks are having the same experience. I'm curious to see if it happens the same way as it did last year with the Vikings. I kind of believe it will, but maybe that's just recency bias. I don't know.
I mean, we are basing a lot on 1 to 2 games, and all the rest of his career since he got good has not been like that, right?
He's disappeared a couple times this year. He had like a stretch where where he had like 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions in a game, like 2 out of 3 games or something like that. It was not good.
Fine. Fair enough, but like Matt Stafford, who's probably going to win the MVP, probably. Like he had at least 2 games where he had like three or more turnovers and they lost badly, and like you have stinker games, like that is part of it. It's just a weird, hard game to play with 22 guys on the field. Crazy things happen though. The ball is oblong and weirdly shaped, and there's wind and shit just goes bad sometimes, you know. So I don't know if I want to hold it against him too much, but it's hard not to. When last year those 2 games were not just like. The first game was the last game of the regular season to see who had the number 1 seed. They lost to the Lions. He had the worst game of the season for him. Then the next game was first round of the playoffs. He had, I think, the worst game of the season for him after that. Those 2 were not just for his team, which, by the way, won 13 games and looked awesome, the Minnesota Vikings. Chris knows all about it. But he was playing for millions, tens of millions of dollars, and he choked when everything was on the line. So it was like the most pressure-packed of his career, those 2 games. Had he done well in either one, he probably would have made a lot more money. He still did okay. He made like $30 million a year this year. But, I mean, if he had big games, those 2 games, or even just pretty good games, that's like $50 million a year for him. I think he stays in Minnesota, it's probably $50 million. It's like such an unbelievable difference, and like that's when he choked. That is not good. Like some guys are just always going to have a good game right there. You know, they're always going to, like Pat Mahomes is 100% of the time, Tom Brady, 100% of the time in that game is going to be awesome. When it's for all the money for them, they're just never going to be terrible. Even if they aren't great, they're never going to be awful. But like Sam Darnold was like, took a lot of things off the table. And I think 100% that could happen again. I think until further notice, we have to believe that's who he is. Like we need proof.
We're dealing with a small sample size. We're always dealing with a small sample size in the NFL, pretty much, unless you have like a Tom Brady career where it spans 48 years. But with Darnold, we are dealing with a very small sample size of clutch games because he hasn't been in that many important games in his career. Still, and I don't believe there's like this mythical clutch gene where certain people are more clutch than others in huge spots. It's not a gene, but I think there is a clutch factor on the margins. I don't think there's like, I think a wide swath of professional athletes, it's a meaningless amount. But there are some players who are at the very top end margin and some players who are at the very bottom end margin of how they react to pressure. I think it's quite possible that Darnold is on the very bottom end margin. And for other than an NFL kicker, an NFL quarterback might be the worst position in sports to be on that bottom end of the margin.
Maybe. That's fair. Here's the other thing, though. It's possible he was really terrible in the clutch. That was a real thing last year, and he like did some soul searching and learned from it and grew. Like that was a big deal. That was a huge life event for him. And if he grew from that, like we all have things where we do something badly, like really screw stuff up, and like really learn from it, grow, and do it better next time, and then have it for the rest of our lives. We've got that skill now. I don't know if clutch is the kind of thing you can get that for. Often we don't see someone get better at that. But I will say there are clearly guys who have been better in the clutch, and we've seen that in sports from those longer careers especially. I'm thinking Michael Jordan, Isaiah Thomas. Thinking about football, Tom Brady's a great example. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers was great in the clutch. Mm-hmm. You know, he just was. Eli Manning, I mean, I was not an Eli guy, but Eli Manning was incredible in the clutch. Like, he did it 2 incredible Super Bowl runs where everything was on the line. He made the greatest passes. I mean, these guys made incredible catches too, admittedly. But he made these plays, and something's going on there, right? Where like some guys I think are just like completely cool and calm and everything slows down for them. A lot of guys are just, it's normal. And then there's some guys where everything speeds up and it's harder, right? And so far, Darnold's one of those guys where everything speeds up and it's like everything's on fast forward and he can't do anything. And he's got to change that right now, basically. Otherwise, this is going to be the story of his career. We're going to look back and this is how we're going to think of him.
Right,
even though
which is why I can't put the Seahawks at the top of the pile like the Vegas odds have them. I have the Bills over the Seahawks for sure. I think. Wow. Yeah, I think. Bills are still number 1 for me, even though they're not like the best team heading into the playoffs based on seeding and all that stuff. Incredible. I think the best player matters more in these situations a little bit. It's important to have like that steadying force in the playoffs. So you have them at where? Do you have them at number 2? I'm debating them in the Patriots. I think I might have the Patriots over them. I trust Drake May more than I trust Sam Darnold. Incredible. That's fair. Yeah. But incredible. I have the Seahawks at number 1. I have them ahead of the Bills. The Bills' defense is terrible. The Seahawks' defense is awesome. Darnold might be fine. And if he's fine, suddenly
they become a much bigger Super Bowl favorite, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not much in their way anymore because, as we're
If you
saying,
could
there are no
guarantee
great
me-
teams.
If you could guarantee me mid-regular season Sam Darnold, it's a different story.
Right. I can't
Yeah.
do that. But the possibility that we get that is enough for me because I don't need him to be that good anyway to be number one. I just need him to be pretty good, and they're still probably number one. Like, I don't know, man. Is there that much of a difference between them and the Texans now that we're talking about it? Like, great defense, quarterback with some questions, but is pretty good. It's all very similar, and this is the thing. I do have them at number one, though, anyway. They did win a lot of big games coming down the stretch. They sort of earned the number one seed with some crazy plays, like the 2-point conversion play, which is insane to beat the Rams. So I don't know. But I'm gonna put them at number one, at least right now. They're my current number one.
All right.
You have
I got
them
the
at
Bills
number three,
one.
right?
I got them at number 3. Yeah,
Okay.
I do. And we didn't rank the Niners, but I have them second
yeah.
to last over the Steelers, I think, with the Kittle injury.
Exactly. If without the Kittle injury, it'd be different, but
Yeah.
they have to be second to last.
Yeah, I think we're going to learn a lot the first time something goes wrong for Darnold. You know, the first time he drops a snap, the first time he throws an interception, the first time he misses an open wide receiver, and like, does he bounce back or does he melt down? Because it feels like that's when the pressure mounts for him. Is the more things start to go wrong, the more he seems, at least in the past, sort of incapable of correcting himself. It just kind of snowballs.
Chris, you're a huge Minnesota fan, so you watched Sam Darnold all last year. You got to have all the emotions. You got to watch him completely tear up sort of make a ruins of your entire franchise by leaving and all these things. What is your prediction for how Sam Darnold's actually going to play? What do you think the Seahawks are going to do?
I don't know. I have not watched much of the Seahawks this year, but I will say this. I never believed in Darnold the whole season. I thought he got really lucky, and the Vikings won 14 games, not 13.
I'm sorry.
Yes. So they seemed like a paper tiger the whole season, whole season. And then when they got to that Detroit game, I was like, prove me wrong. And he didn't. And then we got into the playoffs and like, well, at least we'll beat the Rams. Like it was meltdown after meltdown. And I was like, I did not want to keep him. I had no interest. I was like, this team has to move on. This guy is not, and maybe he'll prove me wrong, but I have zero belief that he's going to lead this team to a Super Bowl, the Seahawks.
Wow. Strong stuff from Chris. I love it.
Well, let's go to the 5th seeded Rams, 12-5.
I like the Rams. I think they're pretty good. Like, I really like Stafford a lot. I think I really used to shit on Stafford all the time. Back in the Detroit days, I was like, Stafford's just kind of a chucker. He's not really that good. He's like the equivalent of like a low efficiency 3-point shooter in the NBA. And I think I was just wrong the whole time. Like I never played football. I don't know the in-depth analysis of football stuff that the coaches and scouts do. But obviously moving him to LA really showed what he could do. And I think he is a deserving MVP this year. He's been great for like the entire time he's been in LA. They've won a Super Bowl with him. I like them a lot. I mean, I think I have them second when I think about it. I put them at second after the Bills.
First of all, Matt Stafford, also more talented than Tom Brady. I don't think it's even a question. Like, he was the number one overall pick, spins balls at different angles and things like that. Always has had that his entire career.
Good job, Jonathan. Thank you.
Having said that, has never even had an MVP vote in his entire career until this year. He's finally going to get some. Probably going to get all of them or most of them. We'll see. It's going to be close.
I have something to say. Hold on. Hit record again. Double record. Jamarcus Russell, definitely more talented than Tom Brady. That guy could throw it end zone to end zone.
Untrue.
He was 7'45". He was the strongest man that's ever lived, and he was better than Tom Brady. He just didn't get the right opportunities. Jamarcus Russell would have been the GOAT. Just want to say.
First of all, talent and opportunity is not that alone isn't enough. It isn't just I'm most talented and I get the opportunities. You also have to have, work skills.
I know.
There's a lot of other pieces. And Jamarcus Russell was a project coming into the league, and everyone knew it.
Yeah.
Now, they thought he was like, if it all worked out, he was going to be a superstar. But like, it isn't like he was pretty raw coming in, and it wasn't a surprise that he was raw. Now, he was the biggest bust maybe of all time. Fair enough. But there are a lot, but it goes back to the same thing as lots of guys were more talented than Brady. At least in the way we call maybe talent. Maybe talent's the wrong word, or maybe if you include like the way Brady processed and all of that, and like his accuracy, maybe. But that took a while for him to get all that. He didn't have that right away. He was the 4th string quarterback on the Patriots his rookie year. I mean, he literally never dressed his rookie year, not once.
He was naked the whole year?
I mean, it was a bold choice. I'll say that. But he did marry a supermodel. I mean, it all worked out for him.
It got him noticed.
Yeah. You gotta. He's a peacock, you know? Let him show his colors, man.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Did we move on to the other teams?
The Rams. Sure. Where do you have the Rams?
The Rams. I think the Rams are the best team left in the field. Stafford is probably he's not the best quarterback, but he's right up there. Like Josh Allen's better. Stafford, if we're just going on, regular season stuff, Stafford and Drake may have the 2 best years, but Josh Allen is the best player in the league, as we were saying. Stafford's very close. He had an awesome year. He also has the best receivers by a mile. Like he's got Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams. That alone just puts him miles ahead of everybody else who's left receiver-wise. His defense is very good. He's got a good running game. He's got a good offensive line. That is just a well-built team with lots of stuff. I think they're the best team in the field. They were this close to the number 1 seed. Again, that crazy 2-point conversion where Sam Darnold threw a pass backward, the ball flipped up, and everyone just thought it was an incomplete pass, and someone picked it up in the end zone accidentally, because nothing happened, just was picking up to hand it to the ref, and they gave him 2 points for it. That's what won them the game. At the end of the game, I mean, it's an insane thing. Otherwise, the Rams would have been the number 1 seed anyway. I think they are the best team left. I think they're probably going to win the Super Bowl. If anyone's going to win the Super Bowl, they're my pick.
Somebody's going to.
Then I guess I'll take the Rams. I think the Bills are really, really good. But, for me, it goes Rams, Seattle, Buffalo, in terms of power rankings.
I know we've left off at least one team here that's a very
we've got one team left. Played the game of the weekend this past weekend. The second-seeded Bears, 11-6.
The game of the weekend.
I mean, they were down 21-3, and they won on a 4th quarter drive. That's pretty good.
Every game was incredible this weekend. They were all classics. They were all bangers, man.
This was the first Bears playoff win in 15 years. I'm from Chicago. I feel I currently am in pain that they're still in the playoffs. I know it's going to be bad. They're not good.
No.
Like, they're not a good team. They've gotten incredibly lucky, and they've had clutch moments. Caleb Williams looks like a fucking idiot for 3.5 quarters, and then all of a sudden he becomes Tom Brady at the very end of the game. I don't think that's sustainable. I don't think he can do that every time. I don't think that their defense is really that good. It's like medium at best. Their talent on offense is above average, but it's nothing near the top of the league. I think the Bears' record is way better than the Bears are. And I don't think that they're going to go very far. I think I put them above the Steelers. I'm not sure if I put them above anybody else. They're kind of in a pile with those other teams down there. This is me as a pessimistic Bears fan, though. I was born in '86, so the year after 1985. My whole life has been the Bears failing. The best thing we ever had was Rex Grossman. Whoop-de-doo. Like, who cares? Caleb Williams is probably the best quarterback in the history of the Bears, which is crazy to say because he's only been there for 2 years. He's a very talented quarterback. He's a very unlikable guy, I gotta say.
Oh yeah.
I watched his post-game interview, and I was just like, I would be happy to trade this guy for the corpse of Phillip Rivers right now. I don't care. Like, get this guy off my team. I don't like him. He's not likable at all.
He's not.
And I wonder if that translates to potential playoff success. I think that having a leader in the locker room who is likable is kind of a big deal for teams to. I know you don't care about this type of shit, Jonathan.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it really matters. Like when we're in the playoffs and like everyone really wants to win, like in the playoffs.
You could be a disliked leader if you're like a hardcore, aggressive, like Roman general who kills the worst soldier type of leader who everybody respects but dislikes, but not this like aloof, I'm better than everyone else bullshit that Caleb Williams does. I don't think that's a leader that people follow.
I don't think they want to follow him, but they don't have to follow him, right? They just have to run the play, right? I think if the Bears are like 6-9 and they've got one game left, and Caleb Williams is like, come on, guys, we're going out there. And they're like, fuck you, Caleb. And like I can see them not trying very hard. But in the playoffs, in the second round, I think everyone's going to give their all no matter what. And I think it's overrated, that kind of stuff in this case. And I don't know that, by the way, the quarterback has to be the leader of the team anyway. Just because we see him as the hub of the offense, like the head coach is the leader, really. And there's lots of leaders on defense, and other veterans can be leaders. But that's good because Caleb Williams, I think he's like Russell Wilson 2.0 in some ways, except worse, because Russell Wilson wasn't even unlikable. He just was like a robot who you just didn't believe him. Like Caleb Williams is
Russell
actively unlikable, right?
Williams is different than Wilson. They're just both talented, unlikable guys, right? Like Russell Wilson was so good, but it felt like he was just full of shit every time he talked. It doesn't feel like Caleb Williams is full of shit. It feels like he thinks he's better than whoever he's talking to and whoever he's around.
Yes.
He just feels like he's the greatest thing that's ever happened. And he just exudes that shit. It's not
all anyone said to him. He's been surrounded by that mantra for like
so
7
has every
years,
first overall pick ever, and they don't all end up that way.
Marcus Russell. No, it's true. And honestly, not just first overall picks, not to bring it back to my guy, but Drake May, who went third overall and was in the conversation to be the first overall pick for the year leading up to that, where it was between him and Caleb Williams. Jaden Daniels ended up working his way in there too. But through the whole season, it was like May or Williams, who's going to go number one. Drake May is the opposite of that, at least what he exudes. He does the aw shucks, I'm not a big deal. Everyone else is, they were yelling MVP. How did it feel? It's like, I think they were saying that for Stephon Diggs, not for me, but he doesn't come off as like full of shit. It's just more like the aw shucks kind of like country boy, North Carolina boy thing. It really works. And he's super likable.
There's lots of recent high quarterback picks who don't come off that way. Like Jaden Daniels, right. He doesn't come off that way
for sure.
Right? Bryce Young doesn't come off that way. Like
no,
they're not as successful in certain spots, but that doesn't mean that it's just a personality thing. It's not a good personality. What the Bears do have going for them is Ben Johnson. I don't know really how good a coach is. It's just what the media says, but he's like the darling coach of the moment, right? Like Sean McVay was 8 years ago or whatever. It's kind of that.
He's one of
type
them.
There's
actually a number of darling coaches right now because so many guys have had surprising success this year. Part of that is just a lot of the teams we expect and coaches we expect to do well did not do very well this year. Harbaugh got fired in Baltimore. The Chiefs didn't make the playoffs and had a losing record for Andy Reid. So now, Sean Payton, sure, but Ben Johnson, Mike Vrabel, those are two first-year head coaches. Mike McDonald in Seattle's only been there, for 2 years, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's right, 2 years. He's having tremendous success. Kyle Shanahan had another great year. The coaches are killing it, and a lot of these newer, younger coaches are doing really, really well. It's cool to see. I don't know what it means anything because it's all small sample size. As you said, the NFL is so full of, what if we shake it all up again, and what does the snow globe look like this time if we just redo the season, It's hard to say. But this is the season we got, so fair enough.
So Bears are near the bottom. They're not a contender, in my opinion.
I put them... I think I put them second to the bottom, actually. I think I have even the 49ers ahead of them. Because the coaching, not to put down Ben Johnson, but I just think Kyle Shanahan's got experience and is sort of a mastermind. And I think the 49ers are just built better overall, even without George Kittle. That I like the 49ers better. I will say this about Caleb Williams. I root against that guy. I really do. His expected completion percentage is, I think, the worst in the league. He misses a lot of passes. But oh my God, if that guy's down 14, look out because he's going to come back on you, and you have to stomp him all the way into the ground. Otherwise, he is going to beat you. And it happened again. He's been doing it all season, but it happened again in the playoffs somehow. It was unbelievable to watch that they were down 21-3 at the half. And I remember coming back, whoever the commentators were literally said on the thing, this is going to be a tall task as the second half was starting for the Bears to win. And then the Bears did nothing for the entire third quarter, scored 25 points in the fourth, and won the game anyway. It was unbelievable. And he suddenly made every pass, and no one could guard Colston Loveland on that one little flare out to the left, going out of bounds, 25 yards down the field. They did that play over and over, and it worked every time. It was
crazy.
They
do have good offensive talent. It's not amazing, like I said, but Loveland's good. There's good players on the team.
Absolutely. No, they have good players. Clearly, something is working, and Caleb Williams, extremely talented also. Like, he was number one pick for a reason, right? Like, and even though he's unlikable and screws a bunch of stuff up, I think when he sort of gets out of his head and it's like, okay, just got to make stuff happen now because they're losing, he just settles down or something and just lets it all take over, and that's when he's at his best.
Yeah. All right, so I have the Bills and you have the Rams, I guess.
Yeah. All
right.
You have the Bills all the way at the front of everybody. Wow.
I do.
Yeah,
the number 6 seed, right?
What are your Super Bowls? If you had to pick who do you think what are your Super Bowls based on this conversation?
I'm going to go Bills Rams also, actually. He has the Rams, he has the Bills winning, I guess I have the Rams winning, but whatever. I mean, this is the who the hell knows year in the NFL. It's sort of the most fun. It's really fun to have a great team who you can root against, and if they lose, it's really fun, but it's super fun to not know. Like, it's better just to not know and have chaos, which is what we have right now. I love that.
Who you got, Jones? Who's your Super Bowl?
Texans, Rams.
And you have who winning?
The Rams.
Huh. Rams going on the road to Seattle. That is not a free one by any means at all. It's going to be, man, what a great, oh, God, these playoffs have been so good already. We had, including the Pittsburgh-Baltimore regular season finale on Sunday night, we had 5 straight, essentially classics on national TV where we had that, and then the first 4 postseason games where in the wild card, every one of the first 4 games, the team that was trailing with 2 minutes left won the game. And there was never more than a 1-score lead at any time in any of the 4 games. Like nothing, it's just absolutely insane. And there were 2 of the 4 games had 4 lead changes in the fourth quarter. I think that's happened 4 times in the history of the playoffs before that. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. So fun.
I just want to go on record before we leave and say, Lovie Smith was a better coach than Bill Belichick. If you just look at his career and you look at the expected win rates in certain spots and how lucky Belichick got, Lovie Smith was more talented.
He had more talent for sure.
He had more mind play going on. Belichick lucked into Brady. Belichick was just an old sack. He got lucky. He's like, go play football. Lovie Smith knew what he was fucking doing. That guy had talent, actual talent.
I do think Belichick is probably the best coach of all time, but I will say he never did anything as a head coach without Brady. Not ever. Not ever. In Cleveland, without Brady in New England, and then now in college, again, where he can actually recruit guys and pay them, still, so far, nothing. I still think he's the best coach of all time. I want to be really clear. But, I don't know, man. You can make a pretty good case that Brady is the whole thing there.
Yeah, I think Don Shula would like a word. All right?
It's fair. It's fair.
Yeah.
Don Shula's dead, man.
A word from the grave.
I got a chip away at the work. I got a bigger play to rehearse. I gotta live today like I'm in the race. Show the world I know my own worth. Heavyweight to burden, I persevere. Been persevering since birth. Fight for what we deserve until we reunite Mother Earth. We're rewriting the rule book, rewiring our brains, deep diving the framework. Yeah, we can be the change. Future's ours to claim if we grab it by the reins. Break the chain, we're gonna make it rain. We